101 Bronson, introducing you all and welcoming you all to my new review series in which we'll be taking a look at the impressive and long career of legendary actor Al Pacino, who has been my favorite actor ever since age 11 when I first saw the movie Scarface. I was hooked on him after that. Anyway, we'll be taking a look at his long and impressive career, one film at a time, starting with today's film from 1971, The Panic in Needle Park. His first starring role, actually, we are excluding the film Me, Natalie from 1969 because, well, frankly, he has a small part in it, and even more frankly, I haven't seen it nor own it as of yet. Let me know if that's a film that you guys would like me to tackle in the future, maybe as a bonus episode to this series. Because from what I've heard, he has a very small part of it. I've seen a bit of it on YouTube. If it's one you guys will want me to do, I'll include it as a bonus episode somewhere down the line. Anyway, without further ado, let's take a look at The Panic in Needle Park from 1971, starring Al Pacino. Here we go. A urban drama, The Panic in Needle Park stars Al Pacino, Kitty Winn, Richard Bright, and Alan Vint, among others. Special shout out to the late great Raul Julia, who's known as Bison from Street Fighter the movie, who was a small part in this film, but standout nonetheless. The movie is a stark portrayal of life among a group of heroin addicts who hang out in Needle Park in New York City. Played against the setting is a low-key love story between Bobby, a young addict and small-time hustler played by Al Pacino, and Helen, a homeless girl who finds in a relationship with Bobby the stability she craves. Of course, that part is played by Kitty Winn. She becomes addicted too, and life goes downhill for them both as their addiction deepens, eventually leading to a series of betrayals. But in spite of it all, the relationship between Bobby and Helen endures. Or does it? You see, the film sort of ends it leaving it up to interpretation on what happens next, but it's also, to my eyes, a pretty solid closure. Bobby and Helen are back together at the very end after the ultimate betrayal at the hands of Helen, but it's heavily implied, at least for me, that it's purely the mutual need for a fix, so to speak, that keeps them together in the end rather than any actual love between them. It's a fascinating and interesting look at this environment, the environment which, luckily, I've never firsthand witnessed or been close to, nor would I want to be honest. Needles scare the shit out of me, to be honest. Plus, I'm pretty much dead set against drugs. I mean, people want to do drugs, that's absolutely fine. I'm not gonna stop them or dissuade them in any manner. If they want to do it, it's their choice. But I don't want to be associated with that scene personally. Behind the camera, we've got Jerry Schatzberg, who went on to direct Pacino once more after this in another great character film, Scarecrow from 1973, alongside Gene Hackman. And he also directed a solid Christopher Reeve canon film in 1987 called Street Smart. He does a great job in directing this film. It's raw, it's gritty, it's rough, it's just what it needs to be, and the film feels very much like a raw documentary at times. It's excellent stuff. Performances are pretty much great all around, but without doubt the standout is Al Pacino's captivating performance as Bobby. You cannot take your eyes off him. He's wired, he's wild, he's sensitive, he's perfect. It's very, very easy to see why Francis Ford Coppola was eager to cast him in the role of Michael Corleone for The Godfather, which was a film that was in production around this time. And after showing the executives at Paramount a couple of minutes from this film, they finally, but still reluctantly, agreed to have Coppola cast him. But more on that in the next episode. The other standout goes without saying, has to be Kitty Winn. She definitely holds her own on the screen with Pacino, and is excellent in her own right. A great and daring performance by both leads in this film for sure. The movie, due to the dark subject and themes, might not be for everyone, it might not be everyone's cup of tea, but if you want to see a greatly acted character piece portrayed in a raw and gritty style, this is definitely a recommendation. My final rating is 7 stars out of 10. It's one that I do recommend, especially for Pacino fans. A underappreciated gem, this one. Check it out if you haven't already. So there you guys have it. That was a review of 1971's The Panic in Needle Park. Just a couple of cliff notes. I did also want to mention that there is absolutely no music in the film whatsoever, which also adds to the raw and gritty and documentary style, which You guys know I'm a big fan of soundtracks. I love it when a film has a great soundtrack, but this film manages to pull off being great and captivating without having any soundtrack or score or music whatsoever. It's fascinating. It's I can't think of too many films that have done a similar thing where they have absolutely no soundtrack, not even source music. Not even something playing in the background. It's absolutely 100%. There's no score whatsoever for this film, which I did want to point out. Anyway, great film, 7 out of 10 for me. Like I said, do recommend it. Although once again, it's not for everyone. You definitely have to be in a mood to watch this sort of depressing, gritty tale, but a recommendation nonetheless. Anyway, join me next time when we will be taking a look at the 1972 classic, seminal masterpiece that catapulted Pacino's career and made him known to the world stage all over. It certainly blew up his career. The Godfather, which is the next film, the seminal classic, which I don't know what I could possibly say that hasn't been said about The Godfather already, but you best believe that I'm gonna give it my best effort nonetheless. It's a great film. Spoilers ahead. Anyway, join me next time. Take care and keep punching and keep watching great films. Hooah!